In the peaceful and bountiful Valley of Grace, there lived a man named Job, renowned for his unwavering faith, righteousness, and integrity. Job was a man who feared God deeply, turning away from evil in all that he did, and his life reflected this devotion. God blessed Job abundantly, giving him thousands of sheep, camels, oxen, and many faithful servants to care for his vast estate. He had 7 sons and 3 daughters, who often gathered at each other's homes to feast, celebrate, and strengthen their family bonds. After their feast, Job would rise early to offer sacrifices, praying that his children might remain pure in their hearts before God. One day, the angels presented themselves before God in the heavenly courts, and among them stood Satan, ready to accuse Job. God said to Satan, "Have you considered my servant Job? There is no one on earth like him, blameless and upright, fearing God." Satan challenged, "Does Job fear God for nothing? You have protected him and blessed all that he does. Take it away, and he will curse you." God replied, "Very well. Everything Job has is in your power, but you must not lay a hand on him." The test was set into motion. Job stood at the doorway of his home, watching the sun set over his land, unaware of the great trial that was soon to befall him. Suddenly, a servant ran to Job, shouting in panic, "The Sabeans have attacked, stealing all your oxen and donkeys, and killing the servants. I alone escaped to bring you this news," said the messenger, trembling, as the shadow of destruction began to fall over Job's household. Before the first servant could finish, another rushed in, crying, "Fire from God fell from the heavens, consuming all your sheep and servants." The fire destroyed everything in its path, and I am the only one who escaped to tell you, said the second messenger in despair. A third servant then came, saying, "Raiding parties have stolen your camels and slain the workers who tended them. I alone survived." Finally, a fourth servant arrived, saying, "A mighty wind struck the house where your children were feasting, and the house collapsed, killing them all." Overwhelmed by grief, Job tore his robe, fell to the ground, and cried out, "The Lord gave, and the Lord has taken away. Blessed be the name of the Lord." Despite losing everything, Job did not sin or accuse God of wrongdoing, but instead remained steadfast in his faith and devotion. Once again, Satan came before God, saying, "If you strike Job's flesh and bones, he will surely curse you to your face and abandon his faith." God replied, "Very well, Job is in your hands, but you must not take his life." And so the test was taken further. Satan afflicted Job with painful sores, covering him from the soles of his feet to the crown of his head, leaving him in agony. Job sat in ashes, scraping his sores with broken pottery to ease the pain. Yet his faith in God remained firm and unshaken. His wife said to him in frustration, "Are you still holding on to your faith? Curse God and die, for what else is left for you?" Job replied to her calmly, "Shall we accept good from God and not also accept trouble? In all this, he did not sin against God." When Job's 3 friends heard of his great suffering, they traveled from distant lands to sit with him and offer their comfort. For 7 days and 7 nights they sat silently with Job, overwhelmed by the depth of his misery and the sight of his suffering. At last Job spoke, cursing the day of his birth, lamenting his suffering, and questioning why he was ever brought into the world. Eliphaz said to Job, "No one is truly innocent. Surely, Job, your suffering is the result of some hidden sin. Confess and be restored." Bildad added, "If you are truly upright, God will not reject you. Repent Repent, and he will restore you, for he does not forsake the blameless. Job responded, I am innocent. Why must I suffer so greatly when I have done no wrong? My heart is pure before God. Zophar accused Job, saying, Your words are filled with pride, Job. Repent sincerely, and God will surely lift you from this misery. Job cried out in anguish, Why does God hide his face from me? I long to plead my case before him and understand his purpose. A powerful storm formed suddenly, and from the whirlwind, a booming voice said, Brace yourself like a man, for I will question you. God asked, Where were you when I laid the earth's foundation? Tell me if you have understanding of these mysteries. Do you command the stars or bring forth constellations? Can you set dominion over the heavens or understand their laws? Humbled, Job confessed, I spoke of things I did not understand, things too wonderful for me. I repent in dust and ashes. God rebuked Job's friends, saying, You have not spoken the truth about me, as my servant Job has. Offer sacrifices for your folly. God restored Job's fortunes, blessing him with twice as much wealth as before, and granting him new children to fill his home with joy. Job's daughters were known for their beauty, and he granted them an inheritance alongside their brothers, a sign of his abundant blessings. Job lived to see 4 generations of his family, passing away peacefully, full of years, wisdom, and the joy of a life well lived. Thank you for watching AI Bible Journeys. Subscribe for more inspiring Bible stories, and don't forget to like and share. See you next time, and may your day be blessed.